The art of savoring, discovering how to fully indulge in the present moment, savoring every experience, every morsel, and every breath, unlocking the deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, live your life. Get inspired and cherish moments with food, travel, cooking, the Mediterranean way.
Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Buongiorno. Buona domenica a tutti.
Sorry we're a little late because actually we were streaming and did not realize it was not working. So we went on with all our great tips and it wasn't working. So it's nice to see you here now and having you with us. This Happy New Year as well, because this is our first episode of the year. We were busy with other things, so we had delayed it. We had our 21-day to the Mediterranean lifestyle program that we were promoting, our trips to Italy we were promoting. And so we had lots of other things that were going on. So we had extended it. And also we have next week, we're going to the Bahamas and we're going to be actually taping in advance and we won't be streaming live. So any questions that you have, we'd love to hear that you answer them or put them into the group here in Inspiring Mediterranean Lifestyle so that we can actually, are we on now?
We are on. There we go.
Good. So if you have any questions, because next week is going to be about wine and juicing. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Anita Heidema, a rich life strategist, health advocate. I'll explain a little bit more about that later, and travel strategist. You are?
Who am I? I am Chef Dario Tomaselli. I'm an Italian chef, been for the past 40-something years, but I'm still very young. Look at me. Yeah, are we?
Yeah. That's because we live the Mediterranean lifestyle.
That's right.
So really happy to have you here. And today we're going to be talking about food, balanced eating, the Mediterranean way that you can do from anywhere around the world. We have a few just housekeeping tips to do. So one, again, next week, we're going to be in the Bahamas. We're at the Food and Film Festival. We're very excited. Dario has been hired as a guest celebrity chef at the Food and Film Festival in Green Turtle Key. I don't know if there's any more tickets that are left, but if anyone's interested, reach out to us and we can connect you if you want to. But the Food and Film Festival is really nice, and it's in the Bahamas, so of course it's always beautiful. Next Saturday, we're going to be helping out at a pizza charity. Really excited. So people that are in Jacksonville, come and join us. Reach out if you need any more questions on that, and that's going to be January 27th in 2024. For those people that are watching the replay so that they know. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. It's too early in the morning.
No. We had a very relaxing Anita and Dario night last night.
Yeah.
Where we really took care of ourselves. You know, sometimes you need taking care of yourself. That's what we did last night. You know what? We enjoy ourselves. I don't want to say we work hard because we play hard. We enjoy what we do. But last night was one of those nights that we said, you know what? It's our time. Take care of ourselves. We always take care and enjoy our quality time.
That's why the hair doesn't really have much of a style because, actually it looks good when I do that. But we really soaked it and got all these natural products and it was really good. It was fun. In our time. And so there's any other housekeeping that we have to do?
Well,
I guess next week we have the wine and food and juice topic that we're going to talk about. So that's going to be kind of excited. So if you have any questions, please put them into the group because we'd love to hear ahead of time because we're going to pre-tape them. But you'll again see them at 10 o'clock in the groups in YouTube or in the Facebook group. So I think that's it. So I guess we're going to start. For me, balanced eating is so important, the Mediterranean way and cooking and everything. So I'm going to get into just 4 tips that I really believe. And then later I'll get into talk about my journey with health and eating and cooking and stuff. But number 1 is to cook again. We really, really strongly believe in cooking and how important it is. And it's one of those lost things in the world. And it's so important to plan to have time to cook. It brings back connections. It brings back fun. It brings back curiosity with different foods. It brings back health, happiness, inspired living. If you think to cooking in the kitchen and dancing, like I love what Beckham's done with their show about getting in the kitchen and dancing because we love to do that. And I hope people are doing it not just for the Instagram
yes.
post and dancing in the kitchen, that they're actually doing it and finding those meals, finding at least a couple days a week to get in the kitchen and cook together. Part of our 21-day Mediterranean Lifestyle from Anywhere program, we talk about that. We talk about how to set up your pantry, how to meal plan, how to get in the kitchen and cook together, finding those techniques. And that's what we were promoting at the beginning of the year, and it's so important. So cooking and getting back in the kitchen, that's so important. Number 2 is eating more vegetables. Find a way to get more vegetables into your diet. Hence why we do the wine and juice pairing. So the juice that we create and every recipe that we have. So if you go online, we have recipes across the board for everything around the Mediterranean, for other things. It's all around healthy eating, getting back in the kitchen again. So you will find recipes, and they always have a wine, beer, or a juice pairing, because some people want to get more vegetables into their life. How do they create that? You might not like the taste of a broccoli. How do you eat different foods in a juice form and find it maybe as a sweeter way to be able to get those vitamins and nutrients into your body? Also finding ways to cook things more healthy, steam those vegetables. I'm trying to think of, and also in the recipes, we can toggle from 2 people to 20 people. So, and also metric to imperial. So there's lots of things in those recipes to do, but the most important for point number two is to eat more vegetables in your life. Number 3 is to plan. And I know people are saying, want to do spur of the moment, which is great if you're that kind of person. But as people are getting busier in life, and until you build those habits of, oh, we're going to cook now, until you build those habits, especially if you're used to eating out or buying those prepared meals. I know people that have bought those lasagnas that are prepackaged and say, oh, I cook, because they put it into the oven. That's not what we're talking about. It's talking about maybe on a Sunday making that lasagna, or making a couple lasagnas that are healthy and proper nutrients, putting them in the freezer, taking them out so that you've actually prepared it. That's what cooking is about. So planning those meals. And if anyone's interested, we do have a planning chart to do. So if you're interested, reach out to us and we can send that to you as well. And the last is find a way to add some more lean protein to your diet. So we're talking about fish, we're talking about legumes, we're talking about beans, we're talking about lentils, we're talking about lean chicken, we're talking about lean turkey. And Daria will get more into that further about how to cook those products and how important that is. So if you can look at those 4 things to start off with, that's huge. And our 21-day program that we just launched, and I guess I don't know when the next one will be, talks about that. How do you prepare yourself to live the Mediterranean lifestyle from anywhere? How do you set up that kitchen? How do you get prepared as the 2 of you to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much got all the points across. No.
You have so many more points.
But I want to bring something, because I was given by one of our kids gave us a wonderful gift, and it's this great book by Peter Attia, MD. I don't know if you guys ever read it. It's called Outlive, and I found it quite fascinating. Whenever we have some time, we and I want to spend more time actually reading it. It's telling us how to realize and take control of our body before it becomes too late. So take control of our body. If we just really abuse it, and I found it very fascinating, because I nearly just hit the nail in about how to use those protein, how to eat those vegetables, how to incorporate them into your daily meals, and really work it right through with your kids. Become contagious, I say. So, and I'll give you 3 simple examples, okay? And I'm talking about vegetable here, for example. So let's look at a carrot, let's look at a broccoli, and let's look at a cauliflower, for example. So our concept is this: I don't like them. Well, yes, okay. But there is always, and I remember as a child, for example, I dislike cauliflower until I realized what was the thing that I enjoyed with it. Well, number one, the reason why I did not like cauliflower, you know what was it? Because they were overcooked. Mm-hmm. And by overcooking those vegetables, you're removing all those nutrients. So chlorophyll in green vegetable is extremely important. So there is the green part of the chlorophyll, basically. And by boiling it, by overcooking it, you're releasing all those nutrients or that chlorophyll. And basically what it does, it goes into the pot. So what Anita does most of the time, whenever we have vegetable, we don't actually boil them, or we roast them, or we steam them, okay? And most of the time, for example, a carrot, a parsnip, if you wash them nicely, we actually roast them with the skin on, because a big part of the nutrients on the carrot, it is in the skin. The nutrients are right there. That's why most of the time when Anita does her juicing, pairing it with one of our dishes, she was telling, we don't juice and remove, we just keep the juice and remove all the nutrients, because the nutrients are in the pot, believe it or not. So how you do that? Well, simple. You steam a carrot, you steam a broccoli, you steam a cauliflower, and keep the stem, because the nutrients on that vegetable, the flower is a tender part, but all the nutrient collapse right down to the stem. So what do? You quickly trim the stem of the broccoli, you lightly steam it, and you can use it as a dip. You can actually eat it raw if you want it. Once you peel that outer layer, then it's a little tough.
It's so delicious.
It's delicious.
I love it with our hummus and mung bean.
Yeah. So or mung bean hummus. So what we did one time, it was actually kind of a mistake, I would say. So we had some mung beans and we had some chickpeas, so we made a chickpea hummus. But then by mistake, I walked away, I didn't pay attention, and the mung beans overcooked. So I said, well, why don't we try to make a hummus? So hummus with tahini, with garlic, with
the mung bean is so good, and it's so much more nutrients, right?
Way more nutrients.
Yeah.
Okay, and we enjoyed it. So now it becomes your snack, because what is the biggest problem? And it happened to us most of the time. You get home, you're hungry. And I know what he said. She said, you really need to prepare yourself. So you prepare yourself, and you're not starving. So there is something there right away available for you to have it. So, you make some hummus, you got some vegetable, you got something ready to go. And then we're looking into the protein. So protein, we're talking about, chicken. Try to get familiar with your butcher. Okay, even eggs. In that case, if you want it, fish, good quality fish. And when we're looking about fish, remember, less is more. Most of the time we marinate, we do all this. Yeah, it's okay, but in moderation. One of the most important thing with fish, it's all the nutrients that are in them. Okay, so what I like to do, if I got a beautiful piece of fish and it's nice and fresh, I sear it, we bake it in the oven, okay? And then I take it out on the plate, a squeeze of lemon juice, a drizzle of olive oil, raw, okay? And then a sprinkle of salt. So what does it mean? So I do not really sear my fish with olive oil or an extra virgin olive oil. If I was searing in a pan, I would sear with maybe a lower grade of olive oil, so the ice melt point doesn't really affect the fish. And then I cook it for very little time. So I'll give you an example, a piece of salmon. Most of the time, I like it with the skin on. So I cook the fish on my skin on, so I crisp the skin, and I don't turn it on the flash side. Why? Because I want the skin to become a canvas. So the skin, it basically caramelizes all the oils, it crisps up, but the flesh remains nice and juicy. Okay? When I take it off, my favorite way to have it, drizzle olive oil, pinch of salt, squeeze of lemon juice, whatever you want. Now you have all the nutrients. So now you eat something that is good quality and well executed.
Can I just say one thing about it? So we have two recipes that I find that that you've kept a lot of the moisture in. And one of this is the salt crusted fish that we do online.
Not also big,
And people have said to me, oh, it's going to be too salty because it's got the salt around it. It does not take up the salt. What it does is it keeps the moisture in.
Absolutely.
And the other one is, I'm not going to say it right.
Cartoccio.
Cartoccio.
Very simple too. Again, you know what?
And you can make it like you want, right?
You know what? And this is the fun things about even the cartoccio, which is it's a fish in a bag. And you can, if you go on our site, you really see it. You know, a beautiful piece of fish, make sure the good quality fish, and then you put your vegetable in. You can put some olives, you can put some caramelized fennel, you can put some onions, you can put some baby tomato, and then you put them in this bag, a parchment bag, a little bit of white wine, drizzle of olive oil, you bake it. As you bake it, it's closed in the parchment bag, it puffs up. And it makes almost this beautiful little broth in it with all the vegetable. We put some potato if you want it. And then you open the bag and you eat it right in it. Fantastic way to eat it. Okay? So less is more and become much easier. This is the other thing, because sometimes we say, I don't want to cook because it's too complicated.
Yeah.
But cooking should not be complicated. Actually, a bigger part of the Mediterranean culture or the Mediterranean type of cuisine, it's not complication.
Yeah.
One of the things about Italian cuisine, it's known for simplicity. Why? Because the product speaks first.
Yeah.
If the quality of the product is good, you don't need to do anything. You do not need to do anything.
And that's going to your markets.
That's right. And whatever is in season. And same thing goes with meat. People say, okay, well, we eat fish, we eat chicken, we eat vegetable, but what about meat? Absolutely, you can have meat. There's nothing wrong with meat. I mean, I really love meat. But in balance. Because obviously, as we know, digesting meat takes a little bit longer. And especially if you do not use good quality product. So have meat once a week, maybe twice a week, but make sure you cook it properly. We have one of our supplier that we use.
I'm going to share something for a second here. That's just our charts, just so you can see them. So continue talking, Derek.
So we have one of our supplier, for example, then really, that's the chart. That really gives you a very good idea of what we're looking at. And good quality meat, we know where it comes from. There is no bacteria. It's not chemical in it. It's healthy to eat it. So if you want to have a good steak, okay, I'm going to tell you my perfect way to have a steak is to make sure that I cook it or sear it on a cast iron skillet with nothing. And I'm serious. I mean nothing. Maybe a drizzle of pepper. Okay. I put a little bit of grapeseed oil on a cast iron skillet. I don't put olive oil. And then I sear it. And I caramelize the juices so there is sugars into that meat, the beautiful quality meat. And what I'm doing, I'm creating this beautiful crust all the way around my steak.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping all the nutrients, the juice inside. So at the end of it,
I'm salivating.
At the end of it, this is when I season it. Why? Because when those canvas, those crust are setting, because you cook the meat, then you need to rest the meat. When you sprinkle the salt on it, allows everything to separate in perfectly, all the crystal of the salt. And then you can serve it with what? Again, to me, once I have a little bit of salt, a drizzle of olive oil, that's enough. It's up to you what you want to do it. Just remember to respect that ingredients, because that ingredients is how simple it is. Right? So one of the things that Dr. Attila's teaching you here, taught me actually by reading it, is really take control of what you put into your system. Really take control on what you're doing to your shopping, how to you organize yourself. We do know that our life is busy. If you want to make a lasagna, prepare, like Anita was saying, 2-3 lasagna. Now you say, wow, but I can't make pasta. Well, you have to make it with pasta. Lasagna does not need to be with pasta. There are many people, some of our clients, they're celiac. They cannot have wheat. one of my favorite way to actually have a lasagna is with vegetable. Eggplant, roasted pepper, zucchini, whatever vegetable, and you layer them up. Now, you can make it with...
we have a recipe on that line too, right?
We do. We can make it with some tomato. We can make it with some bechamel. We can make some pesto and layer them up. And then you put your favorite cheese, or Parmigiano, or Fontina, or Taleggio, and you bake it. Now, what do? You make, instead to make one, make two of them. And bake both of them as you make it. And then once you're done, you take it out of the oven, you allow to set it, you eat what you want for that night, and then you portion all of them, and you put in a Ziploc bag and put them in the fridge. Done. So you have all your portion already set up for whenever you are starving, whenever you're coming up. It's about preparing yourself.
I used to love getting like small casserole glass dishes.
And
then I would put them and layer them in the freezer and have them individually portioned, or for myself before I met Dario, it was for me and the kids, and having that all planned in advance so that it was that little treat that you'd be able to get. I like to use the slow cooker. I know Dario does not know how to use a slow cooker.
I learned.
It's not really one of your ways of cooking, but you know what? When you're busy, that's the way to do it. And we are coming out with the Mediterranean Kitchen with more recipes around that. We're going to be coming out with, we have come out with the 21-day to the Mediterranean lifestyle, which is going to get into that as well. Come on over and follow and reach out. If you have any questions, put them in there as well. I was going to talk, are you done with that part?
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my cholesterol journey and the Hashimoto's, and some of this is going to come out a little bit more this year as well. So I was diagnosed as a child that our family history, we had cholesterol. So I've been through a large journey working with lipid clinics. I've talked about it previous, how to combat the cholesterol and how to eat properly. And it's not about taking everything out of your diet. For me, it was adding to your diet and putting in a lot of fiber so your body flushes it out. So my liver was actually producing cholesterol and too much of it. So it was a way of being able to flush it out of my system. And learning those kind of things is really, really important. What happens is people, they get into this extremity of taking things out and not being able to eat things. And the Mediterranean lifestyle is about having that balance, enjoying things the proper way. With the Hashimoto's as well, there's going to be a few things. I've worked through some of the gluten-free. I've worked through some of the other things. They haven't always been successful, but we will be having some more ideas coming up with the Mediterranean Kitchen that we're going to be launching later on this year, that will be available for you to be able to watch. So I just wanted to get into that briefly as well.
It's taking control of your body, and it's funny because the issue with cholesterol in the family, this is becoming a problem. Then it's occurring more so now than ever.
Oh yeah.
In today's society,
especially if you're 40 up, like it's crazy. It's people think of it as not a lifestyle change, and that's what's the most important thing.
And sometimes it's just because we do not want to. We just want something quick. Let's get out. Let's grab something quick and grab and go and make it and do it like that. One of the greatest thing that we enjoy when we are home is actually to make things like we made our own yogurt, we made our own granola, and the satisfaction is huge, and it's not something that you need to make every day. This is the concept. It's not something you need to make every day. You make it in batch, and then you do it. If you really get yourself wrapped around to that, it's actually less cooking than you think, and it's actually much quicker and healthier. We enjoy like this week, some 3 of our guests from our retreat invite us for an event, and so we went over to their house, and it was a spur of the moment. It was a Wednesday night. We went there, and the most amazing thing about it, guess what we were doing? We were all around the kitchen. We were cooking, and cooking excitements, like it's funny because one of them went to find out that it was the right pasta to use, has to have the beautiful roughness, trafilata al bronzo, we say. Then it's got a little roughness, so it coats the pasta in it. We made bruschetta alla Toscana, instead to use tomato, but then we incorporate some greens. We use some Toscan cabbage and
some beans, right?
Yeah.
It was delicious bruschetta.
So it's different way to incorporate, but have all the nutrients. And we had a phenomenal time. And I think is allowing yourself to, one, understand what you're using, two, become convivial, and enjoy and have fun. And that's the most important thing. Food is fun. Food's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Food's supposed to be convivial.
Yeah.
But at some point, we need to really do take control of what we're doing. So if you do have a chance, have a look at this book. This is really, it was a very interesting. In some points, potentially maybe a little too extreme. I mean, very, very much direct. But some of the concept of the idea of taking control of what you can do to your body. This is one of them.
And it's around lifestyle medicine. And this is our quote that we use all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
And, and this was a quote that was done in 2019, so before COVID. 63% of North Americans spend more on medicine than food, and 87 say they're connecting less and less. So we don't even know what today's numbers are. So lifestyle medicine, and what we're talking about here is those simple lifestyle changes into your everyday life. Start off slow. Work with our 21-day to the Mediterranean lifestyle program that gets you to that over 21 days to build those habits for that lifestyle change.
What I was just thinking when you were saying, you were talking about the Beckham. And one thing I want to give him kudos.
Yeah.
One, because I'm a soccer fanatic too, so I mean that's David Beckham speaks for himself. But really, what they've done, I mean, they literally are cooking. I mean, this is not just a facade, but what they incorporated, the joy of being together and really cooking. They are spending time in the kitchen and doing with their family, with the youngest daughter, and really spending time to be convivial and be fun and being really together. That's what I think I enjoy about it. And everybody now is dancing in the kitchen.
Well, like I said, I hope it's not just for the YouTube whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be that you're actually genuinely in the kitchen and enjoying it. So anyway, that's going to be today's episode. Next week, come and join us. Any questions that you have, put them in the comments. We'll follow up later. Next ones are not going to be live, unfortunately, but they will be pre-taped. So if you have any questions on this episode or last episode, we'd love to hear from you, and we'll catch you later.
Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao for now, everyone.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Bye-bye.